Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us at MRI Ascend. My name is Brett, and I've been fortunate over the last 10 years to work with some of our largest commercial clients at MRI Software. In this session, I'll be chatting with David Watson, the National General Manager of Asset Management at Savills Australia, about their business, the amazing journey they've been on over the last 24 months, and how they leverage technology to deliver growth despite a global pandemic. Welcome.
Thanks, Brett.
David, thanks for joining us today. For the audience, I was hoping you could frame up a little bit and introduce Savills to the business, particularly the asset management arm that you're responsible for.
Yeah, sure. We see ourselves as a boutique commercial agency. We straddle the commercial, the industrial and the retail spheres. We have close to 500 assets under management, around 250 clients, 4,500 to 5,000 leases. We do the full range of PM, FM, and a big chunk of our business is the financial services aspect only to our client base. We've got around 100 staff, and we've all been about introducing technology to update our offering.
Yeah, perfect. And for the audience, I was hoping we could just take a little step, and it's been about 2 odd years since you've been with Savills. And naturally, when you walk into a business, you look around and you identify some opportunity.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
So Savills was a state-based business, so we had different databases, we had different teams doing their own thing. We had no common platform in terms of database setup. We had no standard procedures. There was a lot of duplication and inefficiency. Wow. So we knew internally we had to address those, but we wanted to really focus on what our clients were demanding of us. So we sat down with all our key clients and listened to them. They'd been with us for a number of years, so we wanted to find out what we were doing well for them, where they saw our value, and what they wanted us to invest in. So we had the two aspects of what we looked at internally, what our clients were after, and the big gap on the delivery was our team, as to what we could do to engage our team through this process. So we looked at all those parts of the workflow and as we in the business know that in property management there is a lot of behind the scenes action that needs to be addressed. And if you can integrate and streamline that, you make the back of house easier for all your operatives. So we engaged the team on that, on their pressure points too, and then we formulated a strategy. And the strategy was to use the open platform of MRI, partner with those other businesses that are, like ourselves, agile, embracing change, and small enough to be able to accommodate and diffuse their offering in such a way that it integrates with other partners that we are using to get an outcome.
Excellent. Yeah, it certainly makes sense.
Look, all the while we were doing this, we had in the background not just to meet the current need, but to see what our horizon would be, and that horizon is only 3 to 5 years because there is so much change in the technology space, all the while looking at how we could qualify the systems and processes improvement overlaid with technology to get a global compliance piece, an audit certification, and we chose GS 007 under the ASAE 3402 banner.
So that's certainly challenges that every real estate professional can relate to. And I'm certainly going to dig into that GS 007 a little later.
Yep, sure.
But while we focus on this, could you start taking us on that journey? How you started to work through and solve some of those opportunities, solve for those opportunities you identified.
Yeah, by all means. So we looked at all the processes that are those back of the house touch points, where different people in the team are working through a process flow to get an outcome. We looked at where we could streamline that and not just push that process down to another potential roadblock. Look at the outcome and say, where are all those steps that we can eliminate through the technology, and what are the technology offerings that we can use and integrate to get that outcome? We spoke to our team in depth about that, and there was some challenges in doing that. But ultimately, it was about being open and transparent with the team, and then when we look at all the offerings and the solution, engaging the team through that with the final vision. That final vision was shared with the clients. But if we look at the technology pieces that we've integrated, MRI is central to that because of the open platform. The APIs have allowed us to integrate the IM module with some of our clients, so that direct interface is fantastic.
Amazing.
It's not what we want out of that, that's what our clients want,
Yeah.
and that's what more clients are expecting. In terms of the day-to-day issues that we're contending, the FM, the facilities management piece, was something that we were falling short on. So we bought an Australian product there. We branded that as our own, but we, in the words of our partner there, we really wrung the neck of the product, and we did some customisations and worked with them for further integration. So to that end, work orders go into the finance system in 15 minutes. They appear on the dashboard in an hour. It allows us to do automated accruals at month's end, which is a pain point for all PMs and the accountants. Right. The system can do it. If you capture the data from the outset and you capture your energy data from the outset and you don't use your team to do that, that's another advantage. You not only streamline it, but you reduce your costs. We looked at, I mentioned the dashboard product. The requirements that our clients have is ever evolving, and the checklist to just be in the game gets longer and longer. And one of those is a dashboard product. But as opposed to just getting a generic and ticking a box and saying you have a dashboard, goes back to that earlier point of really meeting the needs of the client. And we worked with the clients and said, okay, well, you want a dashboard. Yeah. Everybody, to be fair, says they want a dashboard. But what are you going to use it for? What is the key data that will keep you and your staff returning to that every day? Mm-hmm. So the dashboard product that we built was totally driven by the client. What our staff wanted and our client needs were two different things, but we delivered it to the client. We set up mock versions of what that would be. We presented it to clients and worked with them to the final outcome. Now, at that stage, we didn't really know how we could deliver what that final product would be. We found a crowd out of the UK, something that probably 5 or 6 years ago you would have said that there were a few risks around, but we worked with a small and agile team that was able to develop this product at a very cost-effective rate. And everything that we've done through this journey has been very cost effective. We need to continually invest in technology, and everything that we've done for the 2 years, we just don't stop here. There is a future and there's further investment. We looked at your modules, the BNF, the budgeting and forecasting module, that allowed us to pool our outgoings, reconciliations. We tendered the audit aspect of that as well. We set up a help desk. Everybody has a help desk. We tailored that to what our clients were after. We've limited the scope as to what that help desk offers. Mm-hmm. It's all onshore. Nothing we do is offshore. Oh. Through this process, we have eliminated that labour arbitrage offshoring element entirely and utilised technology as the solution. I mentioned earlier, we don't enter the data, so we utilise the facilities management tool for our contractors to upload their information, not just a PDF of an invoice, but they pre-fill the fields that we require to feed directly into the MRI platform. Saver. Massive time saver, yep. So our cost per unit goes down. Yeah. We've put on transition managers. We've been winning portfolio appointments. You bite. What's that Peter Brock saying? Bite off more than you can chew and chew like hell. We haven't gone to that extent, but we've won some big appointments. Mm-hmm. For us as a boutique, big appointments, and it's a matter of transitioning. We all know about transition risk. Transitioning those effectively and having a dedicated transition manager to do that. And it's not in a 6-week or an 8-week or a 3-month period. They are always available to our clients. And the feedback we have from the clients with the transition manager appointment has been surprising to us. We didn't think that was going to be such a resonating point.
It's actually, I've got to say, it's been a real treat, chatting to you over the last 2 years and watching this evolution and watching your business embrace technology. And you used a couple of examples there and how you've really started pushing the needle and then be collaborative with your software partner and say, Shivers, I'm trying to do A and you've got B, but how do we get A, B, And it's actually been really exciting, and I think it is the ultimate vision of how software providers are going to be working with clients, key clients like yourself.
Yep.
It makes us better.
Yeah, you've made me think of one example on there. We talk about that dashboard product. The crowd that we found in the UK had an analytics tool, and they presented that to us. And I said, look, that's fantastic, but I can't sell that. What I'd really like to see is X, Y, Z. And they said, well, can you show us? So we all know what Teams meetings are like at the moment. I literally wrote on the pad and said, I'd like it to look like this. I went, oh yeah, we can do that. I can have a mock-up to you in a week. And that's how it started. So it's being able to partner with those people that have a similar culture and a vision to what you're trying to achieve and really work with you all the way.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I don't want to underestimate the level of effort and work that goes in from your business to achieve what you have and what your team has. And really, could you chat a little bit around that, getting that buy-in from your team and how you got your team ready for the transition?
Yes, it was a tricky part of the process.
Sure.
The team and the clients. I think by virtue of this conversation, you've seen that there was many touch points that we had to consider. We looked at how we do that in a short period of time. Every business has an appetite to invest in technology, in change, but there's an expected outcome as a result. So you're working within a window of a board or a region's expected outcomes. So it was all about us working really quickly on how we would do that. I distilled it down for everyone. Sorry, I still carry this around. This was our Gantt chart of all the projects and the timeline we had to deliver. And it was as simple as every update and every catch-up with the team and the clients, they would see where we're at with it. This was something that I put together just for my benefit, but it was the underlying reference point, or became the underlying reference point for all people. Our clients wanted to work through that list, and as you did and what you were implementing, they wanted to be part of it. Some of them resonated more with others, and they wanted to know that their voice was being heard in how we developed each of those points.
It's an excellent point. I think whenever the team can understand or appreciate where we're going with a plan, with a project, that buy-in becomes a little bit easier.
And I mentioned that we mocked up versions of the dashboard and the facilities management tool. We would regularly catch up with those teams, the state heads. We have weekly finance meetings with all the key stakeholders in finance because, as we all know, the financial aspect of our roles is so important. It underlines everything that we do and why our clients are investing in property. So having that team collaboration and communication throughout this process was key. We adopted almost that 80-20 rule, that we knew we had a timeline to deliver change. We couldn't adopt the strategy whereby we would complete one project and move to the next, because these projects were all interrelated. We had to do it concurrently, so the communication piece around that was central. There was fatigue within the team with all this change. There still is a bit of fatigue. COVID didn't help at all in that, but our client expectations remain unchanged. In fact, by virtue of this journey, they are actually ramping up, because being so open and transparent with the clients, they almost assume what we're doing is done, and they're saying what's next. So there's challenges in everything that we do.
Excellent. So the GS007, I promised I'd come back to this. Look, you're sitting helping clients achieve this in some small way, I'm fully aware that it's not a small project. But certainly for the audience, could you sort of chat through what I'm thinking here is the what it is, the why you chose it and why it's important, and then ultimately a little bit of the how.
Yes. Mentioned earlier that to be in the game, the checklist of requirements is there, and an independent audit of your systems and processes is now mandatory for those more strategic clients, those more sophisticated clients, and it goes it is in keeping with the requirements of those listed funds and in-house managers, and that trickle-down effect. We see that having an external party review our processes and systems and sample and provide independent accreditation puts us into a small group of players in that agency market in Australia, and allows us to play in a certain space. And we want to be in that space. The process by which you go through that is an eye-opener, and I think many people who maybe will be listening to this have been through that process. There's a small number who have probably been involved in writing controls, in writing meaningful, testable, passable controls. It really makes you analyse every aspect of your business, and technology plays a huge part in that, because if you can validate the system that you're offering and using, if you can prove the integrity of data into that system, and it can be tested, then you can qualify, then you pass. And you can pass time over time. We process hundreds of thousands of transactions a year in terms of AP and AR and lease changes and one-off charges, etc. To know that the entirety of those transactions is auditable and has to be 100% accurate all the time. The technology plays a piece, and the third-party accreditation gives our clients comfort that we're doing that correctly.
Yeah, certainly. It's as you said, the AP, the AR, it's a high volume, and Shivers, without the right technology to leverage and automate that and create that visibility from that on the process.
Yes.
It's unachievable.
Yeah.
All right. So, natural question: what next? I mean, you're not going to stop here, right?
No, we're not going to stop here, but we might take a breath. We're in the Type 2 testing phase now. We have a lot of interest from our clients as to what we've developed. And their question is, can you do this? Or what about that? Have you thought about this aspect? We've put our toe in the water on the lease management side, and we're looking at how we can adapt the technology to cater for that sector of the market without big expenditure. So it's utilising the products that we have and tweaking those. There's tenant portals to come, and it's all about which bits of our process are still manual, which parts of those they may not have a high dollar value associated with it, but it's a chore that each of the members of the team are working through manually, and if we can integrate those aspects of the process, we will. Don't want to give the game away too much, but there's probably 6 items of the next round of what can't say low-hanging fruit. I think we've picked all those, but we're on a step ladder going for the next lot. Yeah,
sure. And I really do respect that secret sauce, but that whole program of work to continually drive efficiencies through your business has been really impressive. So I'm getting the wave. We're at time. Dave, thank you very much.
My pleasure, mate. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks everybody online for joining us. We do appreciate your time. If you'd like to learn more about how MRI can help you transform your business, please get in touch with your account manager or via the link in the resource section below.